bet that nobody... Oh wait, no, here we go, someone's turned up. Oh, Sylvie, so you're the first. Mr. Ashes, greetings. There's going to be a lot of faces tonight that I'm going to remember that I've forgotten. NZ, Keith, Mr. Magazine, Scumbucket Pedro's here. Hello, Pedro. So we're just doing a quick digitizer replacement here. I hope it's going to be quick because yeah, I shouldn't really be doing digitizer replacements live. It's all too easy to forget things, particularly with you guys distracting me. And Mark and Oscar and no money. Yeah, that seems about right, especially after today. Okay, first thing I do on these, scribble on that inside so that I know to take it off. David. Actually, I suppose I better run the job through. Okay, hopefully that doesn't break anything. Should be good. I better get the container with all the bits and pieces that I need to open this up. Right. If you read the description, you'll get an idea of what's going on, where I've been for a bit. Okay, it doesn't really tell you anything about where I've been. It'll tell you what's going on at least. Hey Tradie Trev, I see your comment on that reverse engineering video got quite a lot of attention. Alright, this should be hot enough now. Hey Teresa, that was Maple. She basically just started to become sullen and stopped eating, and she was in a lot of pain. And that was on a Friday night, naturally. Was it Saturday night, naturally, yeah. And come Monday morning, she wasn't any better. So we took her into the clinic. And I couldn't really assess much with her straight off. So they gave her antibiotic shot based on the clinical symptoms. The bloodworks were a bit weird, so that was concerning. And we took her home that night, even though the clinic would normally perhaps would have kept her in, but yeah, they know us well enough to know that we don't just let the cat roam around or anything like that. Yeah, they knew we would keep her in. And she wasn't really realistically any better the next day. She was artificially better because of the antibiotic shot and stuff like that, you know, just sort of temporarily made her feel good. But yeah, so we then had her put in for ultrasound inspection, stuff like that, and then they found her lymph nodes have gone crazy, and like I said, the blood works are all wrong. Well, not all wrong, but they weren't great. And there was this huge mass just behind the kidney displacing so many things. I mean, it was like big. But at that point, the vet basically sort of said, well, based on what we've seen in the past, this isn't really great news. It does happen with young cats, because she's only not even 2 years old. And so we were preparing for the worst. And we basically had to leave her there that night because they wanted to get fluids into her before they performed the inspection surgery the next day. So we had to, yeah, leave her there, which was very difficult. Ow, ow, this is hot. Anyway, the inspection went through, and it turns out it was a big fat. It was a literal blob of fat that the what do you call it? That was the mass, but the lymph nodes are still a problem, so we had to get them biopsied. But I mean, it was a big job doing what they did, because she's now got she's basically now got stitches from tail to chest, so to speak. But we still don't know exactly what's going on. So we're very much waiting on bated breath, tenterhooks, whatever you want to call it. We won't know for perhaps 5 days or so. But she is home with us again, which is, for us, most important. Ah, shite, may have started this thing up again. Hopefully I didn't. Okay, well, my phone is beeping. Let's put that there for a second. What's going on, phone? Alright, someone's just helping me out with something. So yeah, anyway, she's got this great big cut, far bigger than what you'd see for a desexing as well, because we've had her desexed, and this was even bigger. But the vet, she's very thorough, the vet. Went through, checked everything, took her time, all that sort of stuff, and came back to the conclusion of well, we don't know what the hell's going on. And so they stitched her back up. She's eating again. And yeah, she's back with us. She's still eating, but we're just gonna have to monitor it. And then, of course, like I said, we got to wait for the biopsy results. Are basically going to be when the things are really going to become real, one way or another. So it's either going to be a case of yes, there is a cancer situation, and there's basically not a lot you can realistically do. I mean, yes, you can do chemotherapy and things like that, but we probably won't. Just the trade-off isn't there. But we're hoping that it was just I don't know, maybe a poisoning of some sort. Maybe she got into something that she wasn't supposed to. It's very difficult to tell. Teresa, that's the other thing. We initially thought, the vet thought, maybe it's a bladder infection, but it wasn't that. And then maybe it was an intestinal blockage, and it wasn't that. And so, we kept going around and around and around. So now it's really a wait and see, with a hell of a deficit in the bank account now. I mean, I will be honest, and the surgeon, the vet, I noticed a discrepancy in their numbers a little bit, in our favour. So I'm very thankful for that. But yeah, it's going to be fun. 2,500 plus for looks like that came and went, if that's the situation. But we're happy to pay that. Anyone who's gone through that will know that. The pain of the cost is a short-term thing compared to the pain of the loss. B blood, hey John. Yeah, Trady, that's the other thing. 2 years is very young, but of course, the other issue there is that it's also not entirely uncommon when they go through this 18-month, 2-year kind of area. That's when particular types of cancers really pop up. I think they call them sarcomas. And it happens a lot in dogs too, and humans for that matter. Although a different age for humans, but basically through the whole growth spurt phase. Anyway, we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, so that's that disassembled. Yeah, 7 grand for a cat. That's incredible. I mean, we'd pay it too, but we hopefully we don't get that situation. But yeah, I think we get a bit lucky here out in the rural area. I don't think we quite get hit with the same sort of vet costs that you do in more metropolitan areas like Sydney. Hey, Stinker, yeah, the things you will do for your loved ones. Agreed. Oh, wow. This has been done before and it's a little shonky. Explains why it was cheap. Because I quoted the person and they said, oh, can you do a bit cheaper? Because I've had it done before and it was cheaper than what you're quoting. And I'm like, well, prices go up for a start and the gear I use is the best gear I can get. Yeah, I said, you're free to take it down to Townsville because I know they will definitely do it cheaper in Townsville. But this is my price here. I'm not trying to rip people off, but at the same time, I'm also making sure that I get paid for the time used. A bit like the vet. Hey, David, sorry to hear that. How old was he? Well, not that it really matters, but how old? I think it's very cruel with dogs of just how short their lives are. I think it's just really, yeah. I mean, no matter with the cat, dog, or anything, they never live long enough for you. But dogs in particular, just it's like no sooner they stop being a puppy, and then you're already facing the worst thing. Yeah, B blood. I very much understand that pain. In fact, yeah, I think there's a lot of us in here that do. It's the sort of thing that, yeah, it doesn't go away. You sort of manage it. But it lurks, and it comes out every now and then when you least expect it. Oh wow, Dave. Yeah, that's even for a German Shepherd. That's young. Sorry to hear that. The uncertainty doesn't help you there either. I mean, I'm glad that at least you did find her. I think that's another grave fear that a lot of us have is it's one thing to suffer the pain of death, the loss of our fur kids, but I think it's even more agonizing when you lose them and you don't even know where they are. That's something that is definitely a significant fear. Oh yeah, some parrots will like cockatoos and stuff. They can live 120 and things like that. Where's Jim when you need him? That laptop. Electro rep. Yeah, Teresa, okay, I just read back and see that you experienced the sarcoma situation. Yes, it's very brutal, very fast, and that's why I think the vet was, thinking that at the very start because of the, like I said, the very large mass and how she was young and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, we'll see how we go. We may, yeah. Now, this person has used just like a little piece of tape to hold down these home buttons. I mean, it works. It's not my personal choice, and they're not even big pieces. It's the kind of tape we used to use for iPhones. It's kind of got a paper substrate in, or a fibrous substrate. Alrighty. I'm trying to decide whether I split this or not. I think I might. It wasn't even tester tape. Like, I would have expected them to use tester tape. Oh wow, is the camera down? Hello, camera. Wow, really? This camera's been working all the time and now all of a sudden it stops. Hopefully it'll come back. There we go, we're back. Yeah, so there's a plastic spacer that the adhesive sits on. I'm just trying to see if I can get it to separate out. The main reason being is that quite often the adhesiveness of the space, the side that goes onto the glass for the iPad, is not so crash hot. So we'll just get this off. You've got to be careful here because if you tear these cables, you've got a lot of explaining to do to the customer. And usually you've got to fork out for a new one. Whole new iPad. Hey there, James. Good to see you. Alright. So we'll line that up out there and stick it down. Hey, Mr. Paul Baker. Let's see now. I've got to get my special adhesive stick. Where the hell is it? It's probably run off. Here we go. Yep. I know, it's hot glue, but it does the job very nicely for me. And you don't need a lot. And the best thing is you can easily reposition things if you have to. Hey Paul, let's see. Actually, yes, you're quite right. You did. That was a month and a half, 2 months ago or something like that. I'm very sorry about that. Things have been a little bit crazy here. Not that it's an excuse, but it's just a case of I'm barely getting 3 hours of sleep a night. And I'm still working on the cat house, which is coming along nicely. I'm putting the exterior cladding on. The only job with the exterior cladding, it's 7mm FC by the way, tradie, is that I've cut it too many times a smidge long, like 3 or 4 millimeters too long, and so it's not fitting between the end skirtings. And so as a consequence I have to trim it down, but the trouble is you can't exactly trim 7mm FC down like that. I mean, I've got a guillotine, so that means my minimum sort of trim distance is around about 7 to 10 millimeters. Anything less than that, I can't get a proper grip. Oh, thank you, B-Blood. Definitely will help the kitty bills, believe me. I had a minor panic when I was at the vet clinic and they told me the bill. I mean, I was expecting 1,500, but when they popped out the old 2,000 plus the 500 for the day before, I had to quickly scramble through my PayPal, and thank God PayPal now has instant international transfers, because otherwise I would be having to leave a leader at the vet clinic while I race off and get some cash. Waking up from a night of repairing my first FPC connected trace and pad repair on a on a touch bar. Oh, thank you very much to hear that you used Flex Board View. Thank you, Stinko. Looks like that's Stinko's first super on a live stream. Did I see Christian in here? Oh yeah, there he is, yeah. Of course I did. Alright, that's in, that's on. I'm a little worried about this here. It's sort of lifted up a little bit. But anyway. We also have a stray cat that's hanging around causing a lot of trouble. I mean, a lot of trouble. It, like, just gets in, causes fights, and of course, medically, that's a big problem too. We have seemingly sort of inhibited him from the worst, but I've still got a lot more fencing to do. Okay, this here needs cleaning up. They actually did do a pretty good job on the original. A lot of the time when you go to the mall shops and whatever, they don't even bother to clean up the adhesive. They just stick it down, yeah. Heat it up, stick it down, heat it up, stick it down. There's a piece of glass there from the original. Yeah, Dave, that one's sort of a misdistributed one. We've known him since he was just a kitten, but he just does not want to ingratiate. We're trying everything we can, but yeah, he's causing a lot of trouble. And of course we do have 3 young non-desexed girls in the yard, and so he's getting interested in them. Obviously we've got to get them desexed, and obviously we will get them desexed, but it's a case of got to get around to it, and they're kept in at night anyway. But the point is it's attracting trouble, but we're not yet at the point where we can really get them desexed yet. So yeah, they're not even a year old. Anyway, so spending more money on fencing that blocks from the outside. It's just a lot of work. The weather is not great for it. It's extremely hot and humid this year. Previous years it's just been hot, and I can work through the hot, but when it's hot and humid, it just cripples you, as most of you would know. So I don't know what to do about this chap. You know, I would really want to get him caged and desexed, if nothing else. You know, just get him desexed, and that should calm him down, and then he could probably... It'd be nice if he could just simply participate with the other wildling cats that we have, which I'm building the cat house for. If he could just sort of get in with that group, rather than trying to pick fights with that group, then he'd be fine. So, you know, we'd feed him, keep him, you know, it'd all be good. He'd have a nice life compared to what he's got now. But no, he's got to go out there and cause trouble. And that's very frustrating, because he'd be like, come on man, we're trying to help you. And he's like, no way, get stuffed. So, you're not making it easy for us. And like I said, the medical side of things is quite severe. We do have a bad level of feline FIV around here, or feline AIDS. So that's constantly on our mind. We've got traps, but the trouble is this one seems to be savvy to it. He disappeared for a week, and I think what happened is he got himself into a trap, but then he managed to get himself out of the trap, and now he is very trap savvy. So I don't think he's ever going to get caught for that one again. The other thing we tried to do is get him into the wedge, the large colorbond fenced area we have at the back, but we missed an opportunity there. Yeah, so it's a difficult one. It's not going to go away, unfortunately. We would like to handle it properly, but sometimes they can force your hand in ways you don't want it forced. Hey there, Pete. Just had one of yours at ER, €3,000. Yeah. Oh, you had to let him go there. I'm sorry to hear that, Pete. That is rough. Yeah, that's... I guess that's what we're kind of still waiting on here. Like, we don't want to celebrate too early. Even though she is doing better now, if that biopsy results come back in the way we don't want, then it's just a matter of time. Hello, Mohammed. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you went through that. I mean, we spent the last few days constantly just in a crying zombie state. It's about the best way I can describe it. And as you would know, the hard part is that you've got to still get out there and do your work. You've got to still do your job. I've still got to fix things. Still got to handle support requests, all that sort of stuff. But you really don't want to. You just want to have someone wave a magic wand and fix things for you. But it just doesn't happen. And you kind of want to tell people sometimes, I'm having a hard time, but at the same time you're sort of thinking, no, I can't explain this to anybody. It's not why they're coming to me. They're coming to me so I can fix their stuff. They don't want to hear my jibber jabber. Yeah, 15. That's a pretty reasonable age. What sort was he? I think that's what makes the Maple situation difficult for us too, is the fact that we've only just had her a year, and we sort of took her out of the being on the street situation, and she's just starting to get happy with life, as it were. And then you have this sort of thing happen, and you're like, wow, the universe really is just there's no fairness or anything like that. It's just what it is. Hey, Ruggers. There's a smudging on the middle of the screen here, but that was there when you probably can't see it, but that was there when I opened it up. So I'm thinking that it was done with the previous repair. Either that or they smashed it really bad and the glass touched, because it's not coming off with the dust. Hey there, horse. Just see what happens when I touch it. Yeah, okay. It's actual damage from the glass having smashed in the previous time, I think. Because when I rub the cotton bud over it, I can feel it being a bit rough. Alrighty. All the screws are in. We know we've got to take the protector off, so I'm going to shut up now and just focus on my work. Try not to botch it too much. Oh, why is that out of... the camera aligning thing must have been just a smidge off, but it's all good now. Hi there, Mr. Harold Zappa. Yes, that is actually good advice. The world is not fair, but you should do your bit to make it fair. Or be fair. Okay, I'll clamp this up because there is a bit of a bend in it. It's not much of a bend, but it's there. So what will happen if I don't clamp it, it will probably lift out tomorrow. And the customer will be all like, what is this crap? I'm paying extra for a lift out job? Okay, it's all good. Okay, I think there is one small issue here. I can't 100% be sure. Oops. I'll just turn this off. I think there was a little bit of excess hot glue, just an absolute tiny smidge. So what I might do is heat up this area, clamp it down, and it will squish it out of the way. But got to make sure you don't touch the home button. So Trady, do you have any advice on trying to trim off 3 or 4 mil from 7 mil FC? It's the Hardy plank stuff. It's like, it comes in 4.2 meter by 230 millimeter lengths. And I've been doing fine with the guillotine, but yeah, just this one section, I just kept getting it wrong by a couple of millimeters, and I worked out why in the end. It's because over the length of it, where I had the FC sheets stored, when I would run the tape measure across them, it wasn't laying perfectly flat. There was a little bit of a bow in them, and that was adding the extra couple of millimeters to my measurement each time. And so I would cut to what I wanted, but in actuality it was a little bit longer. Oh, horse, I'm glad you found use for it. Yes, for those who don't know, though I can't imagine there's too many who don't know now, there is now a free copy of Flexible View out there. Its primary purpose is to displace or replace people who have been using Board Viewer, the program. Flexboard View now handles TiVo files, which was sort of the last remaining file format that I need to get done, and you know, to release it like that. Otherwise people go, well, you know, we need TiVo View, so we're not going to switch over. Anyway, so yeah, it's available for free with the same sort of feature set, single side, no schematic integration, all that sort of stuff. If you want the full feature set, well, you pay for it. But I figured there's enough people out there who can probably get enough done with the free version for that odd job that comes up. But I am, now that I've got TiVo View out of the way for the most part, there's still always going to be tweaks and improvements on TiVo View, but for the most part it's out of the way. I'm now working on XZZPCB format, and I've got parts of it decoded, but the encoding system that they are using for the pads and the pins is quite interesting, to say the least. And the trouble is, I need to get my hands on a copy, but when I went to go and buy a copy, they either want your Google account or your Facebook account or your phone number, and I don't want to give any of those three to the software. I'm happy to give email and name and pay through PayPal or whatever, but I don't want to have it tied into my other accounts. It's just feels bad to do that. See you, B-Blood. got laser guided drop saws. Laser guided drop saw. That's not gonna. That's a good way to get silicosis with FC. That's why I ended up buying the guillotine unit. Yeah, it's the, I don't know if any of you have seen a FC fiber cement guillotine. They're pretty cool devices. Let's see if we can find one. Let's see. Go to the most important store in Australia. Let's see. Bunnings. And let's see. I don't know how to spell it. Yeah. Okay, so these are fibrous cement guillotines. They're a very handy device. You feed this is shown upside down, but this usually goes on the bottom. The sheet goes into here. This section here lifts up from their handle, and then it just simply shears away about 3 inches of material, 2 or 3 millimeters thick. And then you slide it further down the sheet, and you do it again. And you just keep sort of nibbling your way through the sheet. So I've got one of those, works well. My father had one because, you know, he was a builder. But I don't know where it went. Probably rusted, to be honest. Probably because of me. Alright, so next up we've got a Lenovo Slim 3, and it's not receiving any power. Hi, Miss Sarah. Mercia. Oh. Sorry about mispronunciation of the names. Oh, thanks you, horse. If you get around to that, that would always be appreciated. And of course the nice thing is the license never expires. I still find it amazing that I have to actually spend quite a bit of time explaining that to when I advertise. People are like, but I got to pay this again next year, right? And I'm like, no, it's yours forever. Yeah, good on you, Tradie. Yeah, set the mood straight up. Good job. If I can fix it, I'll be happy. All right, I've got to find the power cord that Mr. Adam IT sent me a link to buy. Very handy power cord. So, because it plugs into my USB-C meter, which means then you get to see all the volts and amps crap. Okay. That feels like a fit. I do have the square jack ones here as well. Oh yeah, I just noticed that. At least they're a little more robust. Okay. So as you can see, it straight away comes up showing 20 volts. What have we got? 100 milliamps. I saw the screen come up then. Boots. It's booting. Great. Does that mean this is a dud power brick? Hey, Dudumrose. Yeah, horse, that is a big part of the reason why I put it out there for free. And I was sort of sick of trying to tell people no, they can't have free copies. So I thought, right, I'll sort this out. Yeah, this thing just booted, so I've got a feeling it might be the power brick. It looks like it's actually... No, we've got 20 volts on the power brick. Alright, what the hell's going on? So their power brick's fine. Current shows it charging. What's going on? I hate it when it's like this, because it's like is there a fault, or is it a bad battery? I am left-handed, yes. CD3215. Yeah. To be, it's hard to say with that current. That does look more like the current of a computer just running, not the current of a computer charging. So I'll shut it down and see what happens. Hmm, 847. Any thermal camera? I don't actually have any at this point. I mean, I do have my FLIR 1 Pro that was so very generously given to me by Jim, but it's not really a camera I can recommend because of the fact that it's not really a PC linkable camera. I'm only able to use it because I wrote software specifically for Linux for it, and it's a bit of a hodgepodge at the best of days. It works for me, I'm very happy with it, but it's not something I can actually recommend. Okay, 858, and it's not going anywhere. That's a concern to me. Hello, creature. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that current. Normally when you're charging, it does slightly different. Just see if it drops out. Alright, it's actually got I think it's indicating that the battery is in poor condition. It's got a X mark on the battery when I disconnect it, meaning it ain't gonna live for much longer. So I think it might be more a case of the battery is just awful. And so what we have is a situation where the person hasn't quite conveyed the symptoms to me. But that's okay because it was through second-hand information, and this is a student laptop. So more than likely the student said one thing which was then processed by another person, which was then processed by another person, and finally it got to me. Okay, that's the wrong screwdriver. I mean, it was doing the job, but not very well. So yeah, I'm gonna hazard to say that this is probably bad battery more than anything else. I mean, it still boots. Actually, with most of these student laptops, I think these days they all work off the cloud, because I think they've had too many kids basically claiming that the internet or the laptop ate their data. So I think they said, that's it, we're all just going to put everything on the cloud, and now no one can say that they've lost their data. I hate these. There we go. There's always a clip there. It feels like it's a screw, but it's a clip. Okay, there's our data. Something's been munching away in here at the plastic. A little bit of dust build up. not much of a cooling system. Yeah, plastic there. Plastic there. At least it's an SSD. Yeah, I'm really a little bit uncertain as to what to think of this one. And I hate it because it's, it's a low price laptop. Not that I'm prejudiced against that, but I'm just meaning people aren't going to want to spend much getting it repaired. So I've got to find the fault pretty quickly. And looks like the center tang there's a bit of fatigue on there, but it doesn't look like it's broken. You can see those fatigue cracks, but that looks more surface than anything else. Yeah, that's just surface. Oh geez, creature, they're old as anything. Time to put that one in the bin. I'll be honest, the battery pack doesn't feel bad. Let's see, 2017, okay, it's pretty old. It could just simply be old. Simple as that. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to ask a couple more questions. Sort of get a little bit more specificity, as it were, on what was going on. That CMOS battery cable has been pinched. This has been dropped. The little lock pins, or the little keys, I should rather say, that hold the battery in place, they've all broken away. Good thing it had the screws as well. This reminds me of the MacBook 1466s, how far too many techs jam the Wi-Fi cables under the heatsink and ruin it. And then they complain when I charge them to replace that. There's nothing wrong with it. It's like, yeah, you chewed it, you ruined it. Okay. Yeah, there's space for a 2.5. Not that you're going to need it because we've got this. I don't know if it's NVMe or SSD. Probably SSD. No idea. But yeah, I don't think there's actually anything electronically wrong at this point. I want to get the little dust bunny out. Okay, dust bunny is out. Ah, good point. There's no SATA connector. There will be a cable for it which goes into here, It swings under the battery, and then there's no cable out for it. Interesting that they actually put the frame in there. So they saved 10 cents by not putting the cable in, but they went along and put the frame in. Could have saved themselves 12 cents. Alright, so yeah, this one's going to have to be a case of report back to person, say, but it does boot. And they go, really? It wasn't booting before? And then you're like, oh great. So I just touched it and now it's magically working. And while that seems like it's a fun thing and you should be blessed, it's not. Because 99% of the time, they come right on back. Usually when you least expect it. Except this time will be urgent. Alright. And on the software front, I don't know if you've read the description, but basically I was paid by a person to write software for their B&K 5490 bit 493 C meter, because they weren't happy with the software that it came with. And so yeah, they commissioned me to write an on-screen display software, which is the one that you can see I'm using. So this thing here. But they, wanted it for their laptop, the B&K 5 or whatever it is. It's an SCPI compliant type meter. And yeah, so I've written it for Windows. And nice thing is it's got auto detect and things like that. I'll bring it up on the, let's see. And you could use it for pretty much any other Windows-based SCPI type meter that's connected up to the COM port. So I don't have any pictures for it. I need to update the README file because now it does allow you all the settings are put into a comp file, CFG file, like this, where you can change various things. What was nice is that we were able to get around the limitation of the machine where you couldn't get the diode beep to work. Like some people like to have diode beep and it wouldn't work, even though the documentation says it should, but it doesn't. So we implemented it in software and that's helped. Okay, this is booting just dandy fine. Yeah, I'm going to leave this on charge and see what happens, but yeah, I'm not sure what to make of this. Maybe they have an intermittent power brick. It's one of those, really can't tell. You could go along and say, look, go buy a replacement power brick, see how that goes. If it fixes it, great. If it doesn't, okay, you've lost $30. The 800 milliamps is just weird to me. It's just a strange value for me to see just sitting there. I don't know, maybe it'll pick up. I would have expected like 1.5 amps or something like that for a charging brick. Okay, get that off there. I've got another machine I've got to work on. Actually, it's another iPad. This one actually has a shattered display, so I have to replace that. Has my chat window died? No, you're still there. Okay. Just for some reason it looked like it stalled. Okay, so what is this? I think this is the customer's one. Obviously we're going to test this before we lock it in. Let's see, the charger, yeah, good question about the wattage on it. Let's see. 45 watt. So, yeah. 20 volts, 2.25 amps. So yeah, I should definitely be able to do at least 2 amps. Or 1.5. Oh gee. It's been sitting for so long it's stuck itself back. In a very inappropriate way. Okay, I'm gonna have to get the surgical knife. Okay. Do not lose that screw. Put the specially made battery separator in there. Yeah, that one's reluctant to go in. Okay, that's better. Not sure why they've got this tape on the back. I'm trying to remember the problem this came in with was it had what the frickin' hell, it bent is all. Oh god, I really do dislike having to buy these sort of parts at times because the quality of what you get is, it's a crap shot at best. Definitely got a bent connector there. God, this thing's stuck itself down again. If I force my way with that, that's going to crack. Alright, so we do have an Apple logo, which we did not get before. Oh, update on the shoulder. They want to rip out the joints and put in a reinstall of another tool. Why would they do that? Okay, so that's good. Tradie, on these iPads, the digitizer and the display are separate items entirely. It's like the old days of the iPhone 4s and 3s. Okay, so that's good. So I can seal this, get it back together and seal it up. Hopefully I won't get too much dust in there. I do wish I had at some point created a better clean room effect. So, you know, dust free. So to heat this up. You've just been a real pain. So the problem I have here is that I suspect this is out of alignment. Actually, I should check. Oh no, it's good enough. Okay, alright. Ignore me. The alignment is good enough. Where is the metal plate? Just heat it up. Yeah, I haven't forgotten the screen protector on this one. I'm just making it the absolute last thing I do. Okay. They've got a nice big fat red marker on there, so that's good. Good for us all. Keeps our sanity. Stops you guys screaming too much. Come on. My tool's a bit long to use here. Yeah, I need the shorter one. Okay, we've also got a backing bit of plastic on here for some reason. Or at least we hope it's backing plastic and not something critical, because otherwise I'm just ruining a $100 screen. Wouldn't be the first time. Hey there, Greg. So yeah, I really want to try and sort this XZZ thing out, PCB format. I think it's an important one. Like TiVo view is definitely a very important one. That took me 2 years to sort out well enough to actually release it. Funnily enough, it's because I had to fix a Lenovo laptop that I ended up finally putting the last 4 weeks of hard work into it. And now XZZ, yeah, got to solve that one. It started out really easy. I was like, yay, I'm going to knock this out the park real quick. And then I got to the encrypted section. I was like, oh, I think I'm having a bad day now. Alright, there's some marks on here and I've got to find out if they're on top or bottom. Okay, you are top. Alright. So they're mostly top. I don't like the way that they do these. Anyway. Get done. Damn it, where's my compressed air? Now this one is going to have to be reheated and then pressure bonded, because I'm basically still using the original adhesive, which is, yeah, a bit of a no-no. But it did lift up quite cleanly, so I'm hoping that I can rebond it. If it doesn't, that's fine, we'll just put another screen on. Educated gambling, that's about right. That's pretty much how it is. Okay, well, that still works. Okay. You gotta make sure you delete before you get to the last character. Otherwise it counts. Okay. So the digitizers all still work and display looks good, so we're all good for that. But yeah, I really need to put that on the heat and compress it down. So we'll just slide that off. Turn on the heater. What are we doing? We're midnight. Oh gee. Okay, I see that our current has jumped up to 910. So I might just let that run all night. Okay, Stinko, you have a good day for work there, eh? Hey Tradie, I've got to also get a electrician in to install a caravan type port on the outside of the cat house so that I can get power into the cat house. Now the trouble is I'm probably going to have to run a 20-meter lead from the switch box. The switch box does have a dual GPO in it. I got that installed when I had the solar installed. But it's a 20-meter run and it's a 10 amp outlet. So I can get a nice juicy extension lead, and hopefully I shouldn't have too much loss on it, too much heating, because I'm worried because I'm going to be running air conditioner at the other end. I might be able to get away 15 meters, I'm not sure. I really don't want to have to trench and put conduit down, to run a whole nother circuit. Like the air conditioner is probably just going to be, I don't know, typical sort of low-end wall unit. I will take videos of the cat house soon. Alright. That one is looking good. I'll be happy, customer will be happy. Hey Mr. Allen, welcome back. Minimum is 15 amps for caravan, 10 for New Zealand. Well obviously I'm not going to go to a caravan, but so I'm sort of, I guess I'm relying on the fact that I know the electrician. I've fixed a few of his phones. I'm just sort of asking him to like put an outlet or an external inlet, as it were, on the cat house and walk away. I will have a dual GPO on the inside. If I had the money, I would just simply make it that I would have like a 3 kilowatt hour battery storage system in the cat house and just run it off solar. But I just don't have that kind of money, especially not after today. Okay, so we heated this up. It's pretty toasty. And now we clamp it down. Hey Breda, $50 a night. And you got to keep the cats happy. Remember, it's only an 8x8 room. They are, Stephen. Yes, the batteries are very expensive for the capacity. I'm hoping that with sodium-ion batteries coming into the market more, we will see a drop in stationary storage costs. Because at least with sodium-ion, it should be, once they ramp up production, a bit cheaper than lithium-ion. I mean, sure, you don't get the density per mass or per volume, but you do get more than enough for stationary storage solutions. Alright, so that's clamped. They'll sit on that all night, and that should be well and truly bonded enough for most purposes. I'll be very surprised if it does separate under normal use. Like I said, the quality of the original adhesive that was in there is still quite good. Alrighty. Alright then, well, I think that's enough for tonight. I need to go and now work on my XZZPCB stuff. So if anyone does have an existing XZZPCB account, or they know how I can get one without... I'm fine to pay. I've got no problem paying like the $20-30 or whatever it is to get one for a couple of months. I just don't like the fact that it wants my Facebook or my Google or my phone number. If I can find a way around that, I'll be good. Yeah, it's good to still see you here, Paul. I will try and do more live streams, but unfortunately it's quite difficult at the moment. Yeah, I just sort of did tonight as a bit of a special. YouTube has kind of taken a dive in importance around here at the moment. Until I can get the perimeter fence sorted out, the cat house sorted out, the internal fence sorted out, and a lot of other things sorted out, I really can't afford to invest time into YouTube too much. But I thought I'd still say hello, and good to see everybody again. Nice to see all the regulars. I much appreciate that. And I will catch up with you or next time, whenever that may be. Of course, I do have the Discord as well, so if you want to join in just general daily chat, then Discord is available. The links are on my website. I'll also put it in the description of this page as well. So I'm out of here. You'll take care. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time, whenever that may be.